irritated at things lately. But I bought an Elgato capture card and my computer can't doesn't have a USB 3.0 on it, so I have to get a new computer, blah blah blah, a lot of stuff. Essentially, I'm going to wind up having to spend a lot of money in order to do what I want. So, I was a little irritated at that, didn't feel like making any videos. Now, I just feel like making a video partly because Doomfist has recently been released. I believe it was like a day or two ago. Something like that. Maybe 3 days ago by now. I don't know. To the live servers. I play on the PS4, so I've just recently had chances to mess around with Doomfist. So I feel like doing an overview video. So, first of all, we'll go over his hero information. So we'll start off with his abilities list. He's got a hand cannon, which is basically another shotgun that they added to the game. And as you can see, there is no actual reload. It's a charge weapon. It automatically reloads itself after a certain amount of time. So you don't have to, there's no way to just quick reload so you have full ammo. You have to wait for it to charge. It's like Tracer's Blinks, basically, with an extra charge. Let's see. Then we have his secondary fire, which is probably the ability you'll be using the most throughout the game. Rocket Punch. Does initial damage on impact, and extra damage if you can slam them into a wall. Essentially, it works like a Reinhardt pin, only you don't go all the way to the wall with them. The next ability is Rising Uppercut. I do not remember what all these controls are on the PC. I believe this one is Shift. I don't play on PC very often. I think this one's Shift though. So you hit Shift and you send your enemy flying through the air. For console players, it'll be L1 on a PS4 or left bumper on an Xbox. So they just take damage, you get launched into the air, that's all that ability does. Then we have the Seismic Slam, which can launch you forward for a certain distance, depending on the height you are in the air. The farther you go, the more damage it'll do. And you get to the designated area, you hit the ground, and it launches any enemies within the cone area towards you, basically. So they get launched into the air and towards you a little. Kind of nice setup for a nice uppercut, or maybe get them a little closer so that you have a more for sure shot on your rocket punch. And the last ability before we talk about the passive is Meteor Strike.
Meteor Strike.
You launch yourself into the air and come crashing down onto the ground. Okay, that's something I didn't know about this. Apparently, anybody outside of the initial kill radius will take damage and get knocked back a little. Looks like about maybe like 2 meters or so. Yeah. So anyone within the little circle area is gonna be basically insta-killed. but if they're anywhere within the radius of the full large circle, they will take some damage. Damage is based upon how close to the little circle they are, and then get knocked back a little. And last but not least, his passive is the best defense. So basically every time you use your ultimate, Seismic Slam, Rising Uppercut, or Rocket Punch, the ability will create a temporary personal shield. Which, if I go back into the Meteor Strike, you can see it goes from 250 health all the way up to 400 health. And then it slowly starts decaying. He's at 400, slowly starts decaying. It gets down to about 395, and then it starts the animation all over again. So, I haven't played too much with him. I played a little bit on the PC and a little bit on console, and I've only done custom games. I haven't brought him into an actual player battle, or into an actual battle with players in it. So he also has a few skins, and there's only one problem that I have with the skins, and I love this one because it's purple. Everything is purple. However, if I were to get this skin and then get Golden Gun on him, it would basically get rid of every bit of purple on here, which is upsetting. Not to say that I'm actually going to get Golden Gun for him, or Golden Weapon for him, because I haven't gotten a Golden Weapon yet, and I've been playing since the game came out. But because Mercy is where my first Golden Weapon is gonna go, because I love Mercy. But until I get to a point where I could possibly get a Golden Weapon for him, I suppose I'll probably wind up using this skin most, because I like the idea of having a giant purple gauntlet. This one, it says lake, although I get more of an oceanic vibe off of it than a lake vibe. Lakes are more like greenish in color, or at least where I live, they seem to be. I don't know, maybe different where you live. Plains, yeah, that's definitely a grassy plains feel. I like that. I get that. I understand that. That does feel like that does give off a grassy plains feel. Sunset. I don't know why. I always expect something a little more interesting when I see Sunset as the name of a skin, and I always wind up disappointed. Although it's not that bad of a skin, it's just a little disappointing to look at because I had different expectations for how it would look. The leopard. Okay, this is kind of a cool skin, I'm not gonna lie. Having a leopard print. He's a true African warrior. Okay. That is definitely a true African warrior there. Oh shoot, what? He reminds me of that one crazed warrior from an Ace Ventura movie. I can't remember which one it is. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Ace Ventura Pet Detective. There's 2 different Pet Detective movies, I believe. There's 2 or 3 of them, and one of them he goes to Africa and does a job for tribes, and Ace Ventura is a Oh, it's a Jim Carrey movie. Yeah. So it's Jim Carrey's the main character in it, and uh there's a scene where he goes to this tribe, and he has to fight a member of the tribe, and the member of the tribe that he has to fight has body paints, or maybe these are body tattoos. I don't know where they would get it. I don't know where they got the white color for the tattoo from, but it's very similar to this design, and that's just what it reminds me of. It's kind of cool. I like that. Caution. I see this and I think of the movie Demolition Man uh and that guy that he's trying to stop. Just, I don't know why the face just kind of looks a lot like him. It's like you see the hair and the face, and it looks a lot like him, especially when you're looking at it like kind of like at this at one of at like kind of like a almost like a askew angle here. He just kind of reminds me of that guy, and then I could imagine him getting this partial suit of armor with this giant fist and being like, "Yeah, I can use this," just causing a whole bunch of havoc. Again, I get that same vibe off of this one. Just actually, the hair color better matches on this one, but on this one, if we could get the hair color on this one, that would be perfect. That'd just that'd just be 100% perfect. This one kind of like reminds me of like towards the end of the movie where the enemy is like frozen. It kind of looks like the frozen enemy at this point. It's kind of cool though. This one's these two kind of throw me off. It's like they're kind of cool, but it's like they remind me of something. I just can't think of what it is. Overall, he's got a lot of really cool skins, though. All the skins are really good. I'm not gonna lie, they're all really good. Uh, I really don't think I can pick a favorite. Although purple is my favorite color. I do like, I, I would like a purple Doomfist. That is one thing that disappoints me though about the recoloration skins. Uh, is that all the recoloration that they did will basically get canceled out if you decide to use the golden weapon, which I'll show you. As you can see, there's regular and then golden. Basically the only things that are going to be left that are recolored are his knee covers and like some little ornamental things on his feet, which I'm not sure if you can quite see very well. They're like right over, uh, right, they go right over, or they're right above the big toes on either foot. Those would be the only things that you'd see in the recoloration, which kind of bothers me. It really does. If I'm gonna have a recoloration, I want the full recoloration, not a partial recoloration. Actually, I guess the shoulder would also be. Uh, I guess the shoulder would also be recolored as well. Maybe it won't be as bad. I don't know. Uh, he's got some pretty interesting emotes. This one's just mean. That's just mean. She's like, I'm gonna rocket punch you. Nah, no, I'm not. I kind of like that one. It's very fitting for him. Showing off his warrior spirit there. There's a whole lot of taking knees, but I understand that with him because that gauntlet has got to be heavy. Even having a prosthetic arm, that's got to be heavy. So it's like, it's not really heavy for the prosthetic arm, but more for the rest of the body to hold. So I can understand him just like planting it in the ground when he, instead of sitting. It kind of makes sense. And this one is my personal favorite. I've seen people cover this one before, and they don't get the reference with this one. It's very popular in older movies centered around like Greco-Roman cultures, where they're specifically, what is it? What is the name of that movie? The Gladiator. If you've ever watched The Gladiator, this is basically, it's basically if you don't understand this, Doomfist is a high-ranking member of Talon. He's one of the people in charge of Talon, basically. And the reference here is that I'm drawing a blank on words here. The ruler of Rome, can't think of what they called them for some reason. It's gonna bother me for the rest of the day, but I'll move on. The ruler of Rome will sit and watch all these battles in the Colosseum, and they're 1v1 battles to the death. One person gets an advantage over the other. And the person winds up, one person winds up on their back on the ground. The other person has a weapon in their hand ready to kill them. They look to the ruler of the land. Ruler of the land steps up, goes to the edge of his balcony, holds his thumb out to the side, as you see Doomfist doing here, wavers it a little, and then either sticks his thumb up, saying the guy can live, or, as Doomfist does here, sticks his thumb down, which is the sign to execute on spot. Person gets executed, and the person who executed them winds up winning and moving on to live another day. So it's, now you understand the reference a little. It's more of a movie reference than an actual historical reference, because historically that never actually happened. They were just full-on battles to the death. But it's something that adds a little bit of drama to the movies, so I'm not going to complain. It makes the movies a little more interesting, especially considering there's a reason why they put it in the movie The Gladiator. If you haven't ever seen it, basically the main character is a gladiator, one of the best, gets into a 1v1 fight, winds up with the upper hand, and the Emperor of Rome, there we go. Don't know why that word was slipping me earlier. But the Emperor of Rome comes up to the balcony and decides execute the man on the spot. And the main character sits, thinks about it for a little bit, brings the axe that he has in his hand down like he's gonna chop the guy's head off, and just plants it in the ground next to the guy's head and walks away. So there you go. You got a little bit more information. All these movies that I've mentioned thus far, if you haven't watched them, I would highly suggest looking them up and watching them. They are all really good movies. But we should continue. So we've got his heroic pose, which is almost everyone's pose, basically, where they're holding their weapon up. Intense. Okay, that he's in the middle of an intense battle, and that's why it's called intense. He's working on what his next move is going to be. He's intensely immersed in this battle that he's in. Actually, I can imagine him at the end of an intense battle, actually, him just like, all right, is there anybody left? Doesn't look like it. Seismic slam, supposed to be like when he's doing the seismic slam, what happens when he hits the ground, but looks more like he was gonna go in for a seismic slam, then decided to just strike a pose instead, to me. But nonetheless, it is a pretty expected pose for him to have. And then superior, because he is probably one of the most superior martial artists there are in the world. If you don't know his backstory, his family business is in prosthetics, but he loved doing martial arts. So he participated in martial arts competitions, and he mastered martial arts using only the best, only what he deemed were the best moves amongst all the variants of martial arts, combining them all into his own personal fighting style. And then one day, in the aftermath of the Omni Crisis, he loses his arm. He can't participate in martial arts anymore. But he was one of the most superior martial artists in all the world. So that's where we get this from. Just him standing tall, knowing that he is the most superior martial artist. God, that's a tongue twister. In all the world. He knows it, so he's going to take pride in it, which is nice that they threw that in there.
Try me.
Got some voice lines. Of course, there's the try me. He's willing to take on any opponent. And then a lot of these, I believe, are arcade brawler references. So like the arcade brawl machines, or the arcade-esque brawling games like Mortal Kombat. They're going to be referenced to those kind of games, like this next one.
Combo breaker.
I actually remember playing games and hearing that from an announcer, combo breaker, before. I don't even... But those were back in the days where you can just button mash your way to victory, so...
Don't get back up.
that sound that's an ending line that a lot of these games put for the victor.
Go and sit down.
I imagine him saying that anytime he doomfists somebody. Just go sit down.
I haven't even started.
That's another popular winner's voice line.
KO.
End of the game, you knocked out your opponent.
Punch is all I need.
Shout out to One Punch Man.
Spare me the commentary.
I know that reference. I don't know why I can't think of it at the moment.
Talk to the fist.
If only I was playing on PC so I can set a specific button to where I hit that and he instantly says that, so I can just say that right before I charge in. Oh, that'd be funny.
You're not bad, but not good either.
That's that makes me think of like Karate Kid movies or something like that, where guys getting ready to be mentored by someone who's really good at something, and he's already had some practice, and it's just like, you're not bad, but you're not good either. Let's work on that.
You must be joking.
And of course, the last one, you must be joking. Stereotypical bad guy, all big and powerful, doesn't think that a certain person can take them out because of how they look. Of course. And I want to see him specific sprays. We're gonna have to. There we go. That just looks awkward. Looks like his arm is broken in that. I'm not gonna lie. It's like my first thought about that is, oh my god, what happened to his arm? It looks broken. And then you take and look at it for a little while and you realize, oh no, his arm's not broken. It's just weirdly portrayed. Side portrait. Got. Could just put that somewhere and aim to get somebody to land inside it. That'd be funny. You better be careful when he does that, or he'll take out his other arm. I really want that. I really do. But that's just like personally me. I like getting these cute sprays for every character. And there are currently 6 characters that I don't have one for. However, trying to get that one is going to be really hard because you have to get the whole entire enemy team with your ultimate, which just like seems almost impossible. I like that. That's actually kind of cool. Again, we get those arcade game references. And he's obviously rich, so that's where that comes from. It's like almost every rich person has their own logo, it seems like. That is really weird, because you could almost swear that that's supposed to be Diva's face when you first look at that. Oh look, it's the exact same pose we see him in just to the right. Him breaking Tracer's chronal accelerator, it looks like. It's kind of interesting. Look at that little Pixel Man. I don't even know how to get that one. Punching bag. Notice there's a picture of a drawn picture of Winston's face on it. He still holds a grudge against Winston. That's kind of cool. Him in a martial arts pose. I like that. Rocket punching. He just got done firing off his main weapon. Even though his fist is actually his main weapon. There's his poster. Him standing in the aftermath, which we see him doing here on Numbani. And now, if you don't understand this one, I really don't blame you because they made it very cryptic. It's a level. This is a level. If you've never seen what this is, if you've never seen one of these before, if you have no idea what this is a level. And the name of the spray is They Said. And if you haven't figured it out by now, they said he could level a skyscraper. That's why they have this spray. It's supposed to be kind of a joke-esque spray, basically saying that he can level a skyscraper. So, and if you still have no clue what I'm talking about, look up the first animated short that they came out with on the Play Overwatch channel. Because the very first animated short that they created, it starts off with two kids in a Overwatch museum, and they come up to Doomfist Gauntlet, and one of them says, "Oh my god, it's Doomfist Gauntlet! They said he could level a skyscraper!" So, there we go. It's in the lore, it's said that he can level a skyscraper. That's why they have this kind of a joke of a spray in here. It's kind of funny. I think it's funny. And I actually watched a Overwatch specific YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure some of you may have heard of it. It's called Your Overwatch. And when they were going through all this, they came to this spray and they're like, I don't get the joke. Or I don't understand the reference here. It's like, seriously? I don't know if they weren't picking up on the name of the spray being They Said, or the fact that this image is of a level, because it wouldn't surprise me that a lot of people don't know that that is a level. And basically all it is those little bars inside the holes. If you've never seen one of these, it's a little glass tube with markers on them, and there's a little air bubble, and the rest of it is filled with water. And basically, you use that little air bubble to determine if something is level. If it sits inside the two, in between the two lines on the little tube, if the bubble sits in between those two lines, then, and it's got to be all the way in between. Can't be like it's right on one of the lines, but still in between the lines. No, it's got to be completely inside the two lines. Then whatever you're trying to make level is completely level. I don't know. It's just kind of where you grow up from. Basically, I grew up around construction, so I know what these are. I've used these multiple times. Honestly, everyone should have one of these. Everyone should know what these are, because if you ever try to hang shelving anywhere, or uh, you're trying, or there's basic little things that an average everyday person would do that they would need a level for. So everyone should know what these are, but it doesn't surprise me if you don't, really. Doomfist giving the thumbs up through his gauntlet. That's kind of funny. This one is just kind of like, I actually could have swore I already had that one unlocked, but that's for all heroes. So now we have two different spray combinations. There's Zarya and Reinhardt, and I believe now this would be Zarya and Doomfist that can be in an arm wrestling competition. And so it's just know that this is supposed to be it's supposed to be set up so that he's basically arm wrestling Zarya. You got to get somebody to play Zarya though in order for it to work. And this looks like a younger Doomfist before he was Doomfist, back when he was just a pure martial artist. And here we go. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the Doomfist. And that is all she wrote for the sprays. And last but not least, we have the highlight intros. We have the simple heroic one. Always boring. Then we have his meteor strike, which is the first one. I like that one. That was kind of cool. Actually, I think all of his highlight intros are actually kind of cool. I think this one's my favorite though. Yeah, that one's definitely my favorite. As you can see, I have 1,445 credits, but I'm not going to buy anything for Doomfist. I'm going to save that for the next event that's coming out, which, from the sounds of it, is probably going to be the next coming back around to Summer Games, which I can't wait for, because I mean, I think I got everything that I wanted from the last Summer Games, but I think there's also a few things that I'm missing that I wouldn't mind having. So, the only other thing left to do is to show you some actual gameplay, but I don't feel like actually playing against people. So I'm going to create a custom game. Going to add AI. Going to put them on medium difficulty, because that's about playing against actual people. Actually, it's somewhere in between medium and hard, really. Add recommended to both teams. Okay, well, this is interesting. Yeah, it works for me. Let's go down to start. So this will be on King's Row, I guess.
Now entering King's Row.
And I'm just gonna basically show you a little bit of how gameplay of Doomfist feels. Me personally, I think he definitely feels like he could be overpowered for people who for people who master playing him, he is definitely a high skill tier hero. That is for sure. His abilities can be hard to land at times. Also, there's a little bit of skill in getting used to doing that more often than that. And so it's just like, it seems like this should be R2, which I might actually change that actually to make it seem better, but yeah, I might actually change that for him so that instead of my primary fire being that, my primary fire be his fist, just so it makes a little more sense to me, because you really want to be using his fist more often. It also has a really small cooldown as well. See, like, I was just talking about it and I already fucked up. So as you can see, he is kind of a high skill hero. It's like, I'm still getting used to playing as him. That's why I don't. That's why I'm playing in a bot match right now and not trying to take it to a player match. That and I don't trust my ability to be able to get Doomfist because he just came out. How'd I get a triple kill? So, as you can see, I seem to have no clue what I'm doing, but it's fine, because I'm doing decently fine, I guess. I just went from 2 kills to 7 kills, so I'm on a 5-player kill streak right now, which is kind of interesting, I guess. Alright. Oh shit, I should have been paying attention to when my Zarya had Graviton, and I should have... Oh well. Oh well. It's just a bot match, so it doesn't really matter. I'm probably gonna defend the point to oblivion here. Oop. I should have canceled that. No. Oh damn, I didn't hit him into a wall. I don't think so, McCree. Alright. I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought I would, 'cause... Oh. Darn. I think... Well, no, I guess...
The battle goes on.
Well, I don't know. I don't think any of my bots have actually died.
I'm on fire.
Team kill.
Wow. I just come back and we just do a complete team wipe. That's...
Healing boost.
I wonder how I would actually do with actual people.
Enemy in my sight.
Meteor strike.
Oh, damn. Okay. That was actually pretty good on the Reaper there.
Our enemy's defeat is at hand. Do not let up.
Pass into the iris.
Okay, well that almost worked. Playing with bots, so they're all just gonna trickle in. They don't know how to.
Objective lost. Stop the pain.
Ooh, Zarya's dead.
It's high noon.
Oh shit. Yep. Now I'm gonna do terrible because I don't have the skill to be able to play him properly, which is fine. I'm still learning. As is basically everyone who plays as him, but except for maybe anyone that got to play him into PTR on the PC. Ow. That was not my intended target. Okay. As I said, not the greatest at this, but
Rising uppercut.
I will get this.
Meteor strike.
Ah.
The battle goes
60
on.
seconds remaining.
Okay, so that was okay, I guess. How many deaths do I have? I only have 8 deaths, so I'm not doing that bad. And this is even a bot match, so it's like... Even dropping the beat is not gonna be enough.
30 seconds.
Okay, that might. Oh, no.
Rising uppercut.
Yeah.
Seconds remaining.
Ranged attackers are definitely not his forte.
Overtime.
Pass into the iris.
Rising uppercut.
Oh, what? I'm still trying to learn the range on his,
The payload has reached
not
the checkpoint.
Right. I'm gonna hold my ultimate until the Zarya has hers again. Oh boy.
Name.
This would happen.
Alright, get out of here, McCree. Okay.
Lose the battle.
Alright.
Win the
Zarya has her ultimate, so when Zarya uses her ultimate, I'll use mine.
Freeze! Don't move!
Its hand.
Stay down.
Fire at will!
Meteor strike.
30 seconds.
How much charge did she have? Oh, no wonder she drained me so quickly. Oh boy.
I've been knocked down.
We will go to the end of this round. Hopefully we can get them off the cart.
Overtime.
Enemy in my sight.
Ow. Or not.
It'll take more than that to stop me.
I love how the bots are just dumb and just stand in one spot while they're attacking.
Freeze! Don't move!
Oh shit, that was close.
Play of the game.
Of course I got play the game. Although I'm not too sure I deserved it for anything. Well, it wasn't even an ultimate usage either. Give it to Anna. Alright. So, there you have it, guys. What are my opinions on Doomfist? Doomfist is definitely a fun hero to play as. Definitely very fun. Definitely high skill. So I'll need to refine my skills with him before I bring him into competitive, but that's fine because I don't think he's available for competitive at the moment anyway. I do believe that he will be very powerful for those who can become good with him, whether it be on console or on PC. One thing I do want to note, though, is something that they may need to change for console at least.
Only through conflict you will
is this whole it at times it's like kind of hard to like spin around and look in the direction you want to look. But other than that, he's not. He's a fun character to play as. Definitely going to be. Definitely going to be difficult for people to get used to having in matches. As you can see, even in the training, I am not that great with him. But, you know, he's a character that's definitely going to take time to master. And I feel like he is a really good addition to the game. That's actually I actually kind of like that combo. I should try using it in that order from now on. Damn. That worked really well. But we'll leave you off with one last meteor strike. And with that, I say thank you. Oops. Messing up my button pressing. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Let me know what you think of Doomfist in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next video or episode. Peace out, guys.